Hello again, YouTubers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm your host, the Board Game Captain, and today I'm going to be reviewing and talking about a couple of products for the board game Battletech. Now, these are both products that allow you to fully play within the Succession War time period for Battletech. The first of these two products is the Technical Readout 3039 that I'm holding here. The other of the two products is a PDF that you can download, the complete unabridged record sheets for 3039. Now that allows you to print your battle mechs out on a nice user-friendly format for the game like this. So I'm going to talk about that first. Now the record sheet for the unabridged record sheet for 3039 from a gameplay standpoint is absolutely awesome. So you buy this one record sheet and you can download it at DriveThruRPG. That's where I got mine from. And it gives you all of the different variants for the different mechs in this nice printable, user-friendly format. I like to put them in plastic sleeves so I can use dry erase markers to mark the damage and the heat, etc., as well as weapon destruction and section destruction on them. So you print these out and you're ready to go and you're ready to play a game. There's not really a whole lot to be said here. It gives you a lot of variety. It gives you a lot of mechs, multiple varieties of every mech in the time period. Plus, in that particular record sheet, you get lots of vehicles too. And now, while you're playing Battletech, let's be honest, you're playing it for the mechs. There are some vehicles that are in the 3039 unabridged data sheets that are really useful. My particular favorite happens to be the Saladin hover tank that is very fast and carries an autocannon 20. It's very useful for possibly outflanking your enemy and hitting them in the rear with 20 damage, which can be absolutely devastating. That being said, the record sheets are great. It gives you a lot of variety. And while Battletech is played in a timeline that slowly moves forward, and as you move forward the mechs get more advanced and more complicated, this is a time period that you hear a lot of people liking to come back to and play again. Every once in a while people say, hey, let's play Succession War time period, and that's because you cut out a lot of the more advanced stuff, and it winds up being a time period that very much encourages close range firepower and even getting up in people's faces for physical strikes. It definitely, of all the time periods, is the one that encourages physical combat the most. One other interesting thing about playing specifically in the Succession War time period is that if you get a ammo critical hit on your enemy, it generally means that mech is done. That is it for them. There are no case systems in this time period. So the PDF is fantastic. I absolutely love the PDF. Now the Technical Readout 3039. Now this is interesting because this is not really a game resource. You might think it is looking at it, but you go in and you have the tanks and the vehicles and the mechs. For instance, here's the Cicada. Now, here you have a nice illustration, black and white, nice illustration for the Cicada. Here you have the statistics of the Cicada, but these are not ready to just be used. If you already have the other basic rule books, which include the main rules for the game and the ability to design your own mechs, you could use this to create this mech, but that's rather labor intensive. This is not ready to go right out of the book like these are in the PDF. What this book is really more for is what's on the other page, which is lots and lots of text. And as you see here, it tells you all of the statistics of this mech, a overview of it, what it was designed for, who uses it, where it's been deployed, notable variants for the mech, which then most of these variants usually show up in the unabridged record sheets. Notable mech warriors, famous people who have piloted this mech. It's all about the storyline. So this book is all about the storyline for the mechs and vehicles, and also maybe giving you a few tips and a few hints on how you might want to use those particular mechs and vehicles, while the PDF is all about giving you the rules to play those mechs and vehicles. So it's almost like they're two parts of the same product. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to rate both of these right now, but when it comes down to it, it comes down to a personal preference whether you want both. Now, this is a must-have. The PDF, if you want to play in the Succession War time period, is a must-have. I give the unabridged record sheet PDF a 9 out of 10 stars, and that is because it is really good. It's really varied. There's lots of different versions of all the different famous mechs from the Succession War time period. There's all sorts of options for you, plus it adds in lots of records for the vehicles, which you don't really have in the starter set. So it gives you the option to use some heavy tanks, hover tanks, helicopters, etc., along with your mechs. And while you're probably playing the game mostly for mechs, sometimes it's fun to include 1 or 2 vehicles, or even more if you're using, say, some really tiny little vehicles like one that I'm a fan of. There's I believe it's called the Bushwhacker. It's a tiny little hovercraft, one that the Savannah Master. I mixed up the name. The Savannah Master, tiny little hovercraft that flies around at incredible cheap battle value with a little medium laser on it. Sometimes I like to throw a bunch of those out just to annoy my enemy because it's so hard to hit them because they move so fast. But the Saladin, for actual game effect, is a wonderful hover tank that 20 damage is a big threat, and if you can keep it moving, it can be really hard to hit. But some of the vehicles are a little more fragile than the mechs and can be taken down fairly easily. That being said, again, I give the PDF 9 out of 10 stars. Now, how about the technical readout, though? Now, the technical readout, I give a 7 out of 10 stars. And my main criticism with the technical readout is I feel like, at least for the main versions of each mech, they should have included a regular data sheet in the book. It should have been a different shape and a different size and included the regular data sheet. But this is the way they have always done these books, all the way back to the 1980s when these books were published by FASA. I actually have some of the old FASA versions. And you know what? I still do enjoy reading the history of the mechs, who designed them, what are some stories of some great mech warriors who used these mechs. I do enjoy that, but it's not necessary for the game, which is why I give it 7 out of 10 stars, whereas I give the PDF 9 out of 10 stars. The PDF is a necessity. This is fun. There you have it. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you like playing in the Succession War time period? Is it one of your favorite time periods? Is it one of your least favorite time periods? Go ahead and put it in the comments down below. Do you have any questions or comments about either of these two products, or any questions or comments about this video? Go ahead and put it in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this review and you'd like to see me do more like it, please like this video, share this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Kaptain, Kaptain spelt with a K, on YouTube. And until next time, game on.